So, as a matter of fact, that we're now in the process of a national expansion, and none of it would have been possible without Kathy's help, input, and dedication. We are all proud to be here with you this day, Kathy, on this very important day, and to have you leading us in the fight against crime in our community. Please give her a round of applause.
Respected and admired public servants in the state of Florida, our friend, the Honorable Katherine Fernandez Rundle. We welcome all of you, family, friends, colleagues. Thank you and welcome.
The podium for the administration of the oath. Now, Kathy, this is your 6th time, so I don't think you're going to really need me to prompt you much, huh?
Yes, I do.
Give short little paragraphs here, so we will do that. Please place your left hand on the Bible, your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Katherine Fernandez Rundle.
I, Katherine Fernandez Rundle.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support.
That I will support.
Protect and defend.
Protect and defend.
The Constitution.
The Constitution.
And government.
And government.
Of the United States.
Of the United States.
And the state of Florida.
And the state of Florida.
That I am duly qualified.
That I am duly qualified.
To hold office.
To hold office.
Under the Constitution of the state.
Under the Constitution of the state.
And that I will well.
And that I will well.
And faithfully.
And faithfully.
Perform the duties of state attorney.
Perform the duties of state attorney.
On which I am now about to enter.
Upon which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you all so much, and thank you all for being here with us today.
Voice of a whole community that may be gripped with crime or the fear of crime. To be the voice of a parent, a mother, or a father who's so lost in the grief of a lost child. Maybe you even know someone who's been a victim of a crime. Maybe you've been a victim of a crime. And if so, you will know how completely altered your life can be in the flash of a moment. So, as prosecutors, we do what we do because we get our inspiration really from our victims and their incredible sense of courage. They come forward, they call the police, they talk to prosecutors, they tell their stories, they get subpoenaed, they get cross-examined in depositions, they get subpoenaed again and again, and then they'll wait, sometimes for years, but they'll wait to be brought to court to relive the horrific story over again in front of strangers, complete strangers. So you see, those victims and their courage are really our reward. And when you meet with them and you think with them and you feel them and you live their courageous strength together, that is where we get our core of strength. In this community also, our prosecutors represent another set of victims. And those are really our children who sometimes don't have the wherewithal to have two parents contributing to their well-being. And sometimes they don't have enough food to put on their table. And that's why we are proud to say that we are the only state attorney's office in Florida that does child support enforcement. We have 100,000 cases. Think of all the children that represents. So I know that we have some of our child support folks, people forget about them, but we want to thank them as well for all the work that they do. You know, I can't possibly repeat all the wonderful words that have been said by Justice Barbara Pariente or Alan Dershowitz and some of the others that talk about the role of the prosecutor. And it touches us to know that you see that, because we do feel that. You know, our role is so complex. We don't represent just one person or one individual like so many of our colleagues do in the criminal defense bar, and they do an outstanding job. Let me tell you, the criminal defense bar in our community is bar none the best in the country. And they have their role, and we have ours. And someone, I think it was Alan, used the characterization that in often ways we're the gatekeepers. And we are. We're sort of the quarterback of our criminal justice system. And while we do that, we are very mindful that we always must remain faithful to very key principles. Faithful to the principles in the Constitution, the law, the evidence, and do it in the highest form of professionalism possible. Our principles are really, really simple and yet very complex. We have to enforce the law with due process and fairness. We have to be the first line of defense to ensure the constitutional rights of the accused are upheld. We have to protect the innocent, convict the guilty. And as someone said earlier, never, ever, ever does a prosecutor ever want to convict an innocent person. Instead, we, as prosecutors, have to be the first ones to free an innocent person, and we have done that as an office, and we will continue to do that as an office. There are some today for whom this will be the last swearing-in ceremony for them as assistant state attorneys. And many of them are forced to retire. They don't necessarily want to, but the state of Florida wants to get them off the dole. They want to save money. And that's a terrible loss, really, for us, their experience and their expertise. And then we have some new lawyers who this will be their first swearing-in ceremony, because as you know, we do this every 4 years. And we have to tell you, I know I speak for everyone in the administration, these younger, newer lawyers come to our office, and they just astound us with their enthusiasm. And it's cathartic, and it's contagious, and it's wonderful. And so even though you may have both represented of either spectrum of the career, they all have one common denominator, and that is that they're incredibly caring, devoted, dedicated lawyers and prosecutors. And for some of the parents that are here, I know there are lots of wives, parents, uncles. I know we have a couple of grandparents here. Family members, I hope that you really appreciate what these new lawyers do for you and the community. They are amazing, and I hope you'll come to court and just spend a couple of days watching them, feeling what it is that they do as prosecutors. And also I want to tell you that what they do is, it's like music in motion. It's superbly magnificent. And you know what? They do that despite the back-crushing student loan debts that they have. Their dedication astounds all of us. And what I'd like to do for just a moment is I want to thank some really critical people in that office that maintain the reputation and the professionalism. You have no idea how hard these folks work. There are Chief Assistant State Attorneys. I want them to please stand and be recognized. Jose Arrojo, Don Horn, Kathleen Hogue, and Chet Zerlin. Thank you so much for what you do. Amazing, amazing. The best of the best. And then there are a couple other hardworking professionals I just have to recognize. Lorna Solomon, who's our employment lawyer, keeps us out of court. Lorna, thank you. Stand up. She hates to do it. Ted Manelli, our executive director. Thank you, Ted. Never had an audit that wasn't good. And Penny Brill, one of the smartest lawyer. You see that? Penny, thank you. She's the head of our legal division, and she's the lawyer for all we lawyers, and she's just amazing. Thank you so much. I also need to recognize some of the administrators. There's so much focus on the lawyers all the time. But you know, we couldn't do it without all of our support staff. They are amazing, from all the administrators and all the incredible victim witness counselors who hold the hands of victims in just a way that takes so much compassion and emotion to give the kind of support that they give. And then there's my immediate team. They don't even want to stand, but they have to stand because they're the ones that just make me look good. I don't know how to tell you that. They're the ones that take all the calls, and they handle so much for so many, and they do it so wisely and graciously. Diane Kennedy, please stand up. Annette Puig, Annette, you have to stand up. And Janet Astudillo, thank you. Aren't they great? Yes. And the rest of the team, Ed Griffith and Terry Chavez is probably running around having a heart attack. There she is. Thank you so much. Thank you all so very, very much. And last, I want to just talk about an example of the spectrum of our collective devotion and dedication by talking about one of our senior lawyers. Oh, she's never going to forgive me. But it's so important to do it because as I was thinking about what I wanted to impart, not just to the people that work in the office, but those that are outside the office, it really was best exemplified by her and her example. And she is here today. You may all remember there was a little girl named Wolfson who at the age of 5 just disappeared off the face of the earth. She had been abandoned by her biological parents, and she'd become a ward of the state. She never really found anyone that really cared for her because the evidence showed that the women who took her over as a ward of the state used her as a cash cow. They only wanted to fraudulently obtain public monies. Instead of nurturing her and loving her and caring for her, they ultimately abused her, abducted her, caged her, and ultimately killed her. That was 12 years ago. And this particular assistant state attorney laboriously put that case together piece by piece with virtually no forensics. What I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a CSI Miami. This was really putting it all together. She retired. She actually left our office. And then she came back and she said, you know what? I can't rest. I cannot rest until I go to court and I try that case to try to achieve some justice in Wilson's name. And she did. She came back. She tried that case and convicted it just a few weeks ago. And the woman who's responsible for that, ladies and gentlemen, is now in jail. And the woman who put all that together, she's in her 80s. Yes. Sally Weintraub, I know you don't want to do this, but please stand up, Sally. Thank you, Jennifer. Wow. Right? Isn't that just, thank you so much, Jennifer. So in conclusion, I don't know how you conclude on that, but in conclusion, I want to just say to all our elected officials, and we're going to go through a few of them in just a few minutes. You really grace us with your presence today. And I have to do one shout out to our new chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, Rebecca Sosa. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much for gracing us and taking that role on. We're very, very proud of you. And I see we've got so many of our wonderful elected officials from the great sweet city of Sweetwater all the way to the west, to the wonderful city of Miami, the great magic city. And we have our mayor here and some of their council folks. And I think I saw Manny Diaz somewhere, former mayor. There he is, a former mayor of this great magic city. And Maurice Ferre, you're absolutely right. Another former mayor, thank you. Well, Mayor Regalado, you're in very good hands here today, yes? So we look out to all of you as community leaders, and we have so many of our law enforcement partners here, our police chiefs. Really, the police are our partners on the street and in the courtrooms. They do such an amazing job protecting our streets, and it's such an honor to work with them. But what we really ask you to do is go out and talk about what you've seen, support your prosecutor's office. We've had 7 years of cuts. No one in the office has had a raise in a long time. They don't care. You can tell they do this because they're devoted to it. Well, maybe they care a little bit. Their wives and their families care. But, you know, if you could just go out and remember what this office does for you. These lawyers in this office, all of the investigators, and by the way, I want to thank Chief Matt Boyd, who's going to swear the investigators in just a minute. Thank you, Chief Boyd, for always being our friend and support of this great office and being here today to swear in our investigators. These young lawyers and investigators and all, they are really your gems. They're your soldiers in the courtroom. They're the ones that work day in and day out for you, for this community. They are really your advocates, and they're your voice for public safety and for everything that we stand for as a society. And so, to those that are going to stand up in just a few minutes, to all the wonderful new and veteran assistant state attorneys, I want to thank you for allowing me to be your state attorney, to be at the helm, to fight for you, to be able to boast about you and praise about the great work that you do. You have no idea what an honor it truly is for me to be head of that office, and I want to thank you publicly. I know what you do. I know the hours you keep, and unfortunately, I know the shameless pay that you get. But thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all. So, ladies and gentlemen, did I do it in 18 minutes? Thank you very much. I guess that was a no. You know what? I can't say enough thank yous. You all know how I feel about the office. You know how I feel about all of you individually. My godmother's here, Maria Cepero. She's the one that Lincoln talked about that introduced the Irishman to a Cuban. And my mother said, "A Cuban? What's that?" Little did he know, did she know. But I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being here today, for helping me get reelected last year, and to be able to continue to serve and work with all these wonderful chief assistants, everybody. It's a blessing, and I want you to know I deeply appreciate it. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you. So what we're going to do now is, you can all be seated for just a second, because, you know, this is really a wonderful day. And let me tell you what we're going to do. When we started this, we were hopeful, but we weren't sure. And it's such a privilege and an honor to have this great young woman be the new Chief Judge of the 11th Judicial Circuit, a former ASA, Bertie DeSoto. Bertie, stand up. Bertie.
on. It is just such a treat. Come over here. What we're going to do now is Bertie Soto is going to help me. Terry, do we have a list of all the former ASA judges who are here? Well, you all know who you are, clearly. So what Bertie and I are going to do is we're going to now ask all the former ASAs who are now sitting on the bench to please come forward and join us up here on the stage. Oh, come on. When were you guys ever shy? Thank you so much. Do you want us to call your names, Bertie? I think they're all coming. And while they work their way up, look at this. Isn't this amazing? Is this wonderful? And Bob Scola from the federal court, you made it. Thank you, Bob. You know, I forgot to, Judge Bob Scola sent a beautiful email saying he didn't think he could free himself up, but we're so glad he did. Why don't you all, Bertie, you stay here. Sam, why don't you start a new line over there or something? Well, I thought, because you all don't fit. That's how proud we are. That's how great an office we are. Come on up. So now what we're going to do is this wonderful group of former assistant state attorneys who are now part of our great judiciary. They're going to swear in. We're going to ask all of the new ASAs who are going to be sworn in today, and older ASAs, all of you, to please stand up. This is your day. And then Bertie and them are going to swear you in, and then afterwards, there's 300 of you, all of them will be able to then sign your oaths. So with that, Chief Judge, I'll let you take over.
Thank you very much. I want to thank Kathy and congratulate her. I want to thank all of you for being here. There's so many of my mentors and friends on the stage and out here in the audience. This is such an honor for me. There is nothing like practicing in the state of Florida. There is nothing like being a judge in the 11th Circuit. All of you work so hard, not just the state attorneys, the public defenders, regional conflict counsel, and the defense bar. There's no place I'd rather be. So saying that, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and of the state of Florida. That I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will well and faithfully perform the duties of Assistant State Attorney on which I am now about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you all so much. You make us so proud on the bench. Thank you for joining us. Both Scolas, how is that? Huh? Do you have one of your sons coming to work for us soon? Thank you, thank you. I saw your mother out there. Your mother's there somewhere. Thank you. So congratulations to all of you, and a quick shout out to, we have Mayor Oliver Gilbert from Miami Gardens. Thank you so much. There he is. And we also have County Commissioner Aubrey Edmondson. I didn't see you there. Stand up and be recognized. Thank you so much. Una señora tan grande, tan linda, tan bella, Nora Bolnes. Nora, go like this. Whose grandson works in our office. And last but not least, because I won't be back up here, but Jorge Plasencia. You're just amazing. You're on fire, as that commercial says. And we're so proud watching the whole country now seeing what talents that you have. And good luck in all your new roles. Thank you all.
I just want all our assistant state attorneys to know that 25 years ago, I was actually in law school when I got into television, and I wanted to do what you all are doing. I have an enormous amount of respect for the integrity, the fairness, and the compassion with which you execute your job, and all with a fabulous leader, and we're all so proud of all of you in this community. Thank you. What? That's right. It's not too late. I don't know. I don't know if I could take the LSAT again. That's what really would scare me. Anyway, Chief Matt Boyd is the Chief of Police for Miami Gardens, the President of the Dade Chiefs of Police for Miami-Dade County, and please join us now, Chief, to administer the oath to the investigators.
You don't know how to swear at them? No. We need to know, please.
Yeah, the same one as my check. Wow, this is, I guess this is a little bit of payback. And the reason why I say that, Kathy was involved in my swearing in when I became the chief of police at the city of Miami Gardens. And she also was a part of my swearing in when I was elected as the president of the Dade Chiefs of Police Association. So I guess Kathy kind of got me back in a situation. And I wouldn't want to be, I'm glad to be here because I wouldn't want to miss this for anything in the world. And if you were watching me in that corner over there, I'm one guy, I don't like to get caught off guard. So I was improvising on my cell phone trying to find an oath for the 65th. So if you saw me over there, that's exactly what I was doing. I was, and obviously I couldn't pull it off, so you know, I'm calling it like it is. So that's that. All right, I'm one that I am very brief. I don't, you know, that's the one thing with me and the camera. That's in big audiences. You know, I don't like the stage, but and you look at me, you see how big I am, but that's just how I am. All right, can I get the investigators from the criminal investigation to all stand up? Okay, you want them up here?
No, you're good.
Okay. All right, could you all raise your right hand? And when I say the word I, could you repeat your name after I do it? Okay, I do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and of the state of Florida. That I am fully qualified to hold the office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will and well and faithfully perform the duties of investigator of the state attorney's office, on which I am now about to enter. So help me God. Okay, gentlemen.
Just very quickly, you know who we forgot? That beautiful voice, Marilyn Ebbs. That was amazing. Thank you so much. You're awesome. And last but not least, another awesome woman in a different way, and she was in my speech, and I forgot to mention her. Carolyn is Alan Dershowitz's wife. And she is an amazing lady in her own right. And David and I appreciate your friendship so very much. Thank you for being here.
And now to lead us in our closing prayer, George Plasencia is the owner of the fastest growing Hispanic public relations firm in the country. George, would you please come up here? You scoffed at that?
I guess it's all PR spin, you know. Kathy, I just want to say thank you for asking me to do this. I'm very honored to consider you part of the family, Plasencia family. You are such a special person to me and to our family. As you know, I consider you my big little sister, and I really appreciate you, and you are a mentor to me, and you are a true friend, as is David, Justin, Evan, Nita, your mom and dad, I know are looking down today, and they're very proud alongside my father, who cared for you dearly. And you may have seen a picture earlier where Kathy's wearing a helmet, and she and I that picture was actually taken in Europe. We were chosen to go on something called the Joint Civilian Orientation Conference of the Pentagon. It's a very, very important trip where you visit different commands around the world. We were chosen to go on European Command. It was a coincidence that we were obviously good friends, but we were chosen to go on this together. And it was an extraordinary experience for Kathy and myself, being with the men and women in our armed forces in places around the world, the people that are protecting us. Those people are in uniform, but I would say there's a lot of similarity between the folks that you and I met in those parts of the world and you guys, and the assistant state attorneys and the state attorney and the investigators. You may not be in uniform, but you're protecting us every day. A round of applause for them. And then I'm just going to take a second to thank you, Kathy. You started in 1993. Well, about 2 years shy of that, in 91, we started a nonprofit called Amigos for Kids. And you've been there every step of the way, and your office has been there every step of the way. So I thank you for being a champion for children without a voice in this community. Now, if you could please bow your heads. And please stand and bow your heads. Sorry. First time I ever do this, so bear with me. As Mayor Diaz knows. Lord, please bless Kathy, the assistant state attorneys, the investigators, and the entire staff at the state attorney's office, so they may continue to be a beacon of justice and righteousness for all. We ask that you give them the strength and the wisdom as they carry out their very important roles as prosecutors with utmost dignity. We pray that they use good judgment in their decision-making as they fight crime and corruption in our constantly growing and evolving community. We pray for them and their families, and we ask that you protect them as they protect each and every one of us. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. Thank you.
Kathy,
Mr. President?
on behalf of your alma mater, I have something that I want to present to you. Actually, it comes from all of us, so if I can have that.
Isn't that beautiful? Each one of these are for you. Thank you all so much. We have a reception outside. Thank you everyone for coming. I didn't know, Jennifer, did you have anyone else you wanted to? Okay. If we didn't name you, we do love you anyway, okay? Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Padron.